Hello once again. This is Kev. This is BMBBH, and thank you for tuning in once again. Whether you're watching this live or you're watching the replay, but at any rate, what I will ask you to do is go below this screen and hit that like button, and if it's your first time here, hit that subscribe button as well. All right, so let's get to it. I named this broadcast "Space Madness." And what I mean by space madness is exactly, we're talking about the as in relation to the space. Now, if that term is familiar to you, you must used to watch Ren and Stimpy back in the day, and that's for the OGs out there. But let me see. Well, hold on one second. Um, yeah, it's been crazy. It's been crazy, and it might be a lot of the naysayers' evidence that black people, black men in particular, we can't get our shit together. You know, I think that being in the space, a part of the space, whether you are a spectator, a chat participant, a moderator, or a content creator, I think that this space offers a lot. You know, like a place for you to unload all of your stresses, although, you know, doing that isn't necessarily good for everyone involved. Um, yeah, and it shows. It shows. Myself personally, I believe in having a good level conversation with some humorous moments and some pretty good information at times. But for the most part, it's like it says below the screen for mature audiences, and sometimes I will scroll for edutainment purposes only. A lot of what I say is based off opinion, and a lot of what I say is based off of fact. I want to be irrespective of both, and about the facts that may be divulged by people in the chat, and any panelists that might come up as well. Irrespective to them. We all wish that we could be in a respectful environment, where it is all peaceful and our people are representing themselves to the fullest, professionally, and just a good look publicly. But a lot of us, we don't like to do that. We believe such behavior is boring. It's boring to have a level head, and it's boring to you know just have a good conversation. It always has to be some BS that comes along with it, and I get it. I do. I get it. It's like it makes things seem like they're just so much more fun. But let me talk about, like, there are a lot of things that happened in this space this week, but I guess I'll talk about the one in particular that hits closest to home. The Sister George purchasing Ramil Amir's channel. Ramil Amir was a very prominent part of the Manosphere. We had a lot of people in the space that looked up to him, that rode with him, that appeared on panels and agreed with many of his ideologies. A lot of people believed that once this channel was sold to Sister George, that the channel itself would tank, which anybody with any kind of sense would know that was not the case at all. So we have a lot of people who are kind of puzzled by the purchase, and what I would say is don't be. I mean, um, things are ever changing. Now, as far as this being This supposed like a lot of people have this idea that the manosphere is supposed to be strictly for men sharing our ideas and our issues, so it'll get to the greater audience that there are people who are concerned out there. There's a concern is that women are entering the space. Now, my advice to those people who are concerned about women entering the space, it's best that we as a people focus on the things that we can control and not the things that we can't. Because I've said this repeatedly and I'll say it again. You know, you can't be mad at the audience. You can't be mad at the audience for choosing who they want to view and who they want to listen to. And if all of these men were really about it, about this being a male space, they would be more respectful to male perspectives. All of them, not just some. Not coming on. Like, if you support black men in this space, you're not going to come up here and start talking about old niggas. You're not going to come up here and start talking about educated lames and I know I'm guilty of this, but berating simps for simping. Now, the simp thing is like, okay, some simps are aggressive and some simps are very disingenuous, you know. But there are simps that just simply are simps because they don't know any better. So just it's just this thing that we have, this Highlander complex, this wanting to be the top dog, this HNIC, to the point where people see this so motherfucking much to the point where when a woman does enter a space and say the same things that all these guys are trying to say, but we're too busy trying to jump in front of each other. When a woman says the same thing a man says, is a breath of fresh air. Because so many men have already tried to say this. And a lot of us aren't articulate enough to deliver those messages. And any woman with grace and some femininity can come in and swoon audiences and captivate. So, like I was saying, that's nothing seriously that we can control at the end of the day. Women are attractive, and that's just all there is to it. You know, I do believe that Sister George can come in behind Ramil and make that channel work because those are people. People are human. You know, some of y'all were hoping that channel would drop in number by the thousands, and it didn't happen. So all we have to do is, if for those of you who want to neutralize that, and you're a content creator, step your game up and just become better. In fact, be better than Ramil. That's what I would say. Otherwise, live and let live. Let's see what happens with this. You know, all I'm saying is this: if you really want this space to be about men, you will support men in this space. Otherwise, y'all just blowing a lot of hot air. Now, let me look at some of these comments real quick. Judge Ray, I have 2 cents. I'm gonna open up the panel momentarily. The real Aaron Collins, what's going on tonight? I do believe that this is my first time to your channel. Okay, well, I appreciate it. Thanks for coming by. Kareem, not Karen, how are you doing? Always good to see you. Alonzo Hall, the All Star Advisor. Check his channel out. Phil Brad, what's going on? Diego Harry, what's the word? Good to see all of you. Thanks for tuning in. And if you haven't, please hit that like button. And if it's your first time here, like hopefully the real Aaron Collins did by now, you hit that subscribe button as well. So, anyway, I don't know. What do you guys want out of this space since you're all here? You can type it in the chat, you know. And advice to the mods, I've already advised this weeks ago. We do it brutally honest here. You don't have to take disrespect. But if you do not agree with a certain philosophy that someone in the chat has, hey, the only thing that you have the power to do is to debunk them. I don't want to see any senseless timing out like we do in these other channels. So, I want this channel to be great. It's already great. I just got to get more eyes on it. But, anyway, yeah, a lot of crazy things going on. It's just like everybody's, a lot of people were upset with what Sister George did. And I don't see why. Shit. I mean, if you would have caught it in time like she did, you could have had that channel instead of her. Now, that's all I'm going to say about that. The next person I'll be talking about this is Sister George. Keep in mind, she is a habitual line stepper. So, anyway, all right, let me move on to the whole Abbott and Preach fresh and fit situation. Just give, as Judge Dre said, my 2 cents. Toya the Tutor, what's going on? Let me give my 2 cents on the fresh and fit Abbott and Preach situation. Number one, I do not feel any sympathy for fresh and fit at this point. I'm not saying this because of what anyone else is saying at this point. I'm saying this because you're maliciously trying to get channels flagged and shut down because you can dish it out, but you can't take it. It's like they wanted to smoke, but when they got the smoke, it was too much for them. And here's the mistakes that Fresh and Fit made. Number one, putting on and not being about what you're saying you're about. And that's probably more fresh than fit on that one. But the bigger mistake is you tried to go against a couple of comedians that came up under Patrice O'Neal, which is a hard, like, Patrice O'Neal, yeah, but they're comedians. They will roast the shit out of you. That's what they do. They are professional joke tellers. And I watch Abbott and Preach. They're pretty good. I'm quite entertained by them. Any of you are watching any YouTube personality that you're entertained by, especially going outside of the confines of the space. So, but yeah, Abbott and Preach is one of those guys. Like, well, two of those guys. And I understand if a lot of these guys in this space feel a certain way about Abbott and Preach because of whatever business relationship or space relationship they might have with Myron and uh, Walter. Um, so I get that as well. But I mean, shit, like it's hard to feel sorry for a couple of guys that tried to get other people's shit shut down, especially after talking about folks. That's dumb. How do you sit up there and fuck with folks and not expect a reaction? Gaslighting ain't always gonna be the solution that can be there for you. And see, me myself, I don't like flagging and doxing and all of that crap. I mean, unless they're trying to put your personal information out there or your family's personal information out there, and it could be potentially be harmful and risks to your loved ones. If it's just, I mean, I get that, but if it's just back and forth shit talking, then it's like, dude, you the only thing for you to do at that point is to answer that with shit talking. That's what I be telling a lot of these females. If you don't like the words that are being said, you can answer them with words. Anybody has that option. Too bad if you come up against someone who's better with words than you are. Just like Abin Preach. If you listen to Abin Preach and you listen to Fresh and Fit, Abin Preach delivery, in my opinion, is better than Fresh and Fit's delivery. So it's like I get it that Fresh and Fit has a fan base, a huge following. But when you maliciously try to do things to people, especially a fucking attorney, a guy who knows the law, then you have to get ready. You got to have all your ducks in a row. You can't just pull impulsive moves and expect them to work out. Because, I'm pretty sure that wasn't well thought out and well planned. Because if anybody is familiar with the YouTube copyright system, they don't play that shit as far as bullshit because they don't have time to go through every fucking video. If people are playing with them, that is a sign of maliciousness. People just going around flagging just to flag, doxing just to dox. And if you yourself get taken down for trying to fuck with people's livelihood, then you deserve it. So hey, you know what? Fresh and Fit can do just like everybody else. Start a new channel. And I have a backup channel, by the way, if anyone's interested. I simulcast between this channel and that channel. Yeah, anytime, any day, I could have said something 2 years ago that bothered someone, and YouTube could decide. I mean, it's their platform. It's nothing you can realistically do about it. Mm. And I mean, like Fresh and Fit. Oh my God, the whole DJ Academics thing, where he told he called that girl out for being a single mother, and then old girl was like, "Oh, where you're fat and gluttony is a sin," and then she pulls a gun on him. That shit was funny. Now, if she's gonna say gluttony is a sin, maybe she needs to direct some of that toward Lizzo. I mean, no doubt these women be talking about you crazy. Lizzo is beautiful, and she's quite gluttonous herself. That's what I don't get. They always try to go for a brother's weight and a brother's manhood, while you involve a whole nother person. But she has, I mean, and just because you got a little weight on you, don't mean you're gluttonous. That's just a insult and a cut. Yeah, but that show's crazy. Then Fresh, he gets exposed for having a sugar mama, basically a woman using him for his money, and he trying to front like it's a legit relationship. And then like I mean, I look at how they run their program, and it's like I don't see how all of that came about through Fresh. I mean, I don't. Excuse me. I mean, I don't mean to give him a hard time. I mean, those guys made plenty of money. They made plenty of money doing that shit. But I'm not gonna be one of those ones to say, hey, you know what, guy? I hope they don't get their channel taken down. I'm not sitting up here hoping they get their channel taken down too. But at the same time, I mean, shit, you live by the sword, you die by it. Those who live by the sword die by the sword. and they about to fall on the sword. So we'll see. If the channel don't get deleted, hey, you know what? Business as usual. On to the next controversial algorithm. What's going on, one G's? Yeah. And I ain't gonna even talk about the many niggas that were arguing this week either. You know, two of them in particular. You know, when you see people who fuck with the space argue with each other, I mean, you don't interject, you don't say anything, you don't even say their name. You just want to watch them eat each other. It's like the Ku Klux Klan going against the feminist movement. Black Manosphere. Oh yeah. As a reminder to all of you watching out there who put who associate black men with the Manosphere, we're trying to make a separation. Call it the Black Manosphere. Don't just call it Manosphere because you could be tying yourself to some crazy ass rhetoric. And I'm not talking about the Eastern guy who was the PhD who said manosphere is tied to hate speech, because that could be true, but that's them over there. Those what we black Catholics used to say about the white Catholics. That's them over there. That separation definitely needs to be made distinguishable by all of those who are respective of this space. That's right, Toya. Put that on the screen. Yeah, because see, in that white manosphere over there, I mean, you got some black guys that are over there, some black guys who jump ship from the black manosphere, like Donovan Sharp, whatever his motivations were. You got guys like Coach Greg Adams over there, but but as far as I would say the pale ones, the Caucasian ones, it's a lot of trumpet playing over there, as I would say. It's a lot of ideologies that are what do they call it, alt right, and it's some WS over there too. So we don't want to be associated with them fuckers. So I mean, if you truly believe that there's a black manosphere, you just say it just like that, black manosphere. Keep us away from them motherfuckers. Like I say, do like the black Catholics. That's them over there. Ugh. Kareem, not Karen. They aren't entertaining. I like watching them occasionally. It seems xenophobic because they are not ADOS. They get hated on. Two men that built their platform and are successful. I'm supporting them. Okay, well, like I said, nobody's telling you not to. Like I said, I ain't gonna feel sorry for them if they do get taken down, just because of the fact that they tried to hand out so many copyright strikes. But that's some regular shit on YouTube. People hand out copyright strikes basically on the regular. I mean, for them to try to do it to so many people at one time, yeah, that's gonna be a red flag with YouTube. So what else happens in this space besides, and we always have the hate train. People continually trying to say that the Manosphere meetup was a failure, which they should coin it. They should call it the Black Manosphere meetup. But I'm not. I don't direct what they do. It's like the only thing I can do is when they do have the next meetup, the only thing I can do is show up and support and get some ideas from them or whatever. But outside of that, I'm not going to criticize them. My only suggestion as a black man is, you know, call it the Black Manosphere meetup. But for everybody to jump on that hate train and like, oh, these are the guys that sit up there and say that they don't like black women, they hate black women. Not like, and that's just what we just as a people we just try to make everything about the things that we don't like. Oh, they hate black women, and all they want to do is get together in public and cry and whine and talk about black women. And from what I heard, and from what a lot of even people who were there, they were saying it wasn't even about women. It was about advising young men who showed up, and it was like 100 of them, from what I hear. Advising on young men on how to get the bag. Man, Judge Ray said, "I am ready for the link." Okay, when I am ready to drop it, I'll let you know. Yeah, because I'm sure you have some insight. Yeah. In fact, I'll go ahead and drop the link now. See what happens. Space madness. What's going on with y'all? Yeah, Roger's show yesterday. Heard there was sort of a meltdown. No, I've been on daddy duty the whole weekend. Oh, I tell you the truth. The energy of a 7-year-old. I never knew. And I mean, like, I live with her. Yeah, there you go. There goes the link. Yeah. What is it? Do I just avoid trouble? Cause I don't know. I observe the drama, but it's almost like, is it a benefit that I am not a part of the drama? I guess absolutely. Shit. What up, Judge?
All right, all right, I'm here. Do
Yeah,
me a favor. Let me and you talk for just maybe 5 minutes.
well, me talk for 5 minutes. I
No,
think I
me
can
and you,
pull that off.
me and you. I'm gonna just tell you like this. What I saw right here is the definition of them motherfuckers making us men look like broads.
Yeah. What?
Just to let
Okay.
you know, former
Care to
scam artist.
explain?
Oh, I definitely will explain. I'm not one just to say that. Former scam artist to what it is. Y'all, I sit up here and watch these people tell a lie, hire legal people who they paid money out of their own pocket to deframe and cost you your way of life. No offense. What they did is way worse than these Karens out here because the Karens just taught a lie. These people actually spent resources to try to confirm a lie. You spent money, time, energy, effort, resources without hired lawyers, put the money in the lawyer's pocket, roll up contracts and all this shit to cost people their way of life over lies.
Hmm.
Over lies. No offense. They is just doing stuff like that is just as bad as the Emmett Till stuff. The only thing is you didn't get away with it. And see, everybody is sitting back laughing now and talking about how stupid they were because they didn't execute the scam properly. I'm just gonna let you know from a person who used to scam people and do stuff like that. If I wanted to get you, I would have gotten you. And people, they just didn't execute it properly. And for you guys to sit up here and not be getting screaming to YouTube about them being banned for trying to do that is a disservice in its own. Because you sit up here and it's all funny, yeah, they didn't get the channels terminated. It don't give a shit, nigga. They didn't broke the rules. They broke the rules. You got to go. Period. Then it ain't our rules. So plain and simple is you want to make it. If they want to make it like that, well, everybody should say, well, fine. If they can make it fresh, everybody should put a video on their channel. If Fresh and Fit can just go ahead and flag multiple videos, maybe that's what we all should do. Now, I'm not saying do it, but just say that so YouTube knows that hey, this stuff is not going to be tolerated, and your other content creators is not. The only reason why it didn't go down is because they did too many at once. But imagine the people who would have gotten knocked off if they wouldn't have made a mistake. They could have knocked people off one by one. And you guys are just sitting here laughing like this ain't a big serious thing. I'm not even gonna lie, man. you playing with people's livelihood. You know, most of the people come to this space because what? It's a outlet so they can get things off their chest, this, that, or the other. Imagine the people who live in paycheck to paycheck. No offense, dude. I used to run shows. When you get a strike, sometimes it may take you a week to get up. Say if you live paycheck to paycheck and you get $300-400 of shows, and now 3 shows that took you to go through all that shit that you couldn't run, you already a grand in the hole. I mean, some people only making $200-300 a show, but no offense, if that's your 200-300 you need a day, that's a big difference. And then for somebody to be able to do that shit on lives, and on no offense, it ain't like these people went out and found bullshit on them. You brought the shit on yourself. They talking about what you did online. And for y'all men not to sit up and say, no, we ain't gonna tolerate that. We fine. You could have called us names, you could have done this, but you went the legal route. You hired attorneys, and think about it. You know they probably did. The first attorney didn't take this shit. So you tried to hire attorneys to try to destroy other people's livelihoods over lies and false allegations. That is no offense, that is no better than these people that be out here calling the police on black people for nothing. That's 10 times worse. These people actually spent money and tried to cost you your livelihood, taking food off your plate.
Mm.
Now, I sit back and I watch it. Just give an example. I came out of
It's,
retirement. I recorded a video this morning. It'll be up tomorrow. I recorded a video this morning. And to
all
go to
right.
show you know how many times I said I was going to record a video, and I never have. I came out of retirement over that shit. And see, I'm not a Manosphere content creator, and no offense, I could never be a Manosphere content creator because the things that I agree with on my own do not fit right with the Manosphere. I don't mind having a little volume to get what I want, and I would
Well,
hate
so
for
so
myself
let
to
me
do.
ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Is there a
Mhm.
Manosphere playbook on what you're supposed to, what kind of views you're supposed to have, or
No, but the
like?
fact that this listen. I'm gonna show you why. It's the reason why I could never be because what me being in the space would bring too many arrows because I remember, like I said, I'm one of those ones. I agree that sometimes things people need to get hurt to get things done. I wouldn't want my to go to show you a good friend. Just got like you sit up here like we watching Donovan sit up here take this bath for these dummies. A good friend would say, if that's why I told her, no, Donovan, them motherfuckers ain't your friend. I even said that in my video. A good friend would be like, nah, dog, I understand you, my dog. You sit on the sidelines. Don't take no flack for me. I mean, come on now. We already know that most of these big corporations are full of racist people, and their tops are big, and all that. And a lot of them help. Now, say Coke was racist, but we know Pepsi was racist too. And then the Coke people got outed. Pepsi ain't gonna come out for the day defense, even though they boys and they both, my boy on that company. He's just gonna be like, yeah, dude, stay on the side. And that's what the real smart people do. You don't come sitting here, hey man, we understand you got to take that L, man. That's all you. Hey man, yeah, they shouldn't have done that. That's all. Pepsi ain't gonna come out and be like, yeah, man, you know, Coke is my friend. You know, you really shouldn't treat him like that. And I'm just gonna go down, and we should just make sure that. No, they're not gonna do that. A real friend would say, no, dog. Why are you gonna take flack for work you didn't do? You're gonna take arrows for a war you didn't start. Why are you gonna actually lose revenue on something you didn't say? You understand what I'm saying?
Mm,
It's stupid.
yeah, yeah.
That.
Now it's hard enough for black men and black people to find that successful hack. You
Mm-hmm.
know, not trying to, trying to say that, a lot of us don't want to go the regular route. We don't want to get you a basic 9 to 5 where you have to work under some
Mm-hmm.
fat musty fuck,
Right.
and
But
once we find that, a lot of people found that on YouTube, and
yeah,
a lot of people are on this platform because they love to be up here, and
and
for someone to try to maliciously take that, that's a foul.
well, just give an example. When I was running shows, my third weekend, about 3 weeks in, somebody did that. They couldn't get none of our shows, but come to find out, Tommy on his channel had other videos that they flagged. Like, because that way, if you still do the research now, you can probably find the commercial I made of me and my son for the You Dig when we moved to another channel. Sometimes you can find it on YouTube. I saw it a couple months ago. But Basically, we made another commercial saying that the channel moved to another. But basically, what they did is this: they can never flag our show because the rules of the show is we didn't talk about other content creators and there was no personal attacks. But we attacked opinions hard. Your opinions got attacked hard, and it's like so. That was the rules of the show. So they couldn't get us, but then what they did is to get back at him. They figure, oh well, we can get rid of one of Tommy's shows by doing that. And they copyrighted strike. They hit us with a strike, and we got a strike, so we couldn't go live that night. And we ended up moving to another channel so we could. But like, just give an example. That first day, we had lost like 40% of the people that was normally there. It'd normally be 150, 200 something people there watching on a high the night four, and we were down. Our numbers were way down because we had moved to another show now, and that's the problem. And it's okay to say, okay, fine, it's just all YouTube, but the motherfuckers went too far. So you got to take the consequences. I'm not gonna lie, the channel should be deleted. People, everybody, all content creators need to write YouTube, even the ones who weren't even affected, and say no, they got to go. At least these niggas need a 30-day or 60-day ban. Because no offense, if you gonna just give me a slap on the wrist, I'd do the shit again. I mean, that's kind of like what
Well,
happened to Amazon, was stealing from them Amazon Flex people, and then
look,
all you did was make them pay the money back that they stole.
look,
No,
if they lose that channel, they will have the same opportunity everyone else has. They will
that's why
start
they need to lose. Right,
another channel.
exactly. Right. That's why they need to lose it. They can. I'm not saying that they can't. It ain't like they can't come back, but the figure is that should be YouTube saying we ain't gonna tolerate this crap. Because one, it was wrong. It was a lie. It was you used the rules and then you lied on top. This is what I'm trying to say. If the motherfuckers will sit up here and spend money to hurt your way of life and try to get you that way, you definitely better not ever trust them.
Yeah, I
Yes,
get that.
like I
I
can't
get
tell.
that.
I
Don't
wouldn't
don't
go on
trust
this.
the guys. I
No, but
mean,
I'm saying this. I wouldn't go on their show at all. Because the first thing you do like this, if any future content creators, no man in the back, don't go on their show. I
well,
said
that's
because
not a problem for me. I don't fuck with them anyway.
but I'm anybody listening, don't go on their show. You know why? Like, say me and you got a beef, and you go on their show. First thing these think about it. If they people spent money and use lies to try to get you discredited, then you know they'll set you up while you in the states. They'll have
Hey,
a
well,
girl
Dre,
they know sit
here's
up here
the
and say that you e-pard her or some kind of crap. I
I
mean,
think
say
Dre,
that
I
you,
think people get it though. I think people get it.
yeah,
I don't think that you need to continue to tell people not to fuck with them. I think that people get it, and if you do fuck with them, you're that kind of person anyway.
yeah.
If you fuck with a person that likes to dox and flag and all the other shit.
But
But hey,
they
look,
went farther than doxing and flagging. They
we
actually spent real cold, hard green cash to do it.
yeah, yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
you ain't
and
never done. Maybe you ain't never look.
imploring financial methods to take down
Right.
others.
That's a look. It's a big difference when you push some buttons on a computer and do that shit. But when you come out to pocket money, and you know they had to pay thousands to do that. When you come out to pocket money like that, no offense, if you come out to pocket money
Because
like that for a
who they
lie,
go after? They went after some popular content creators. They went
mm-hmm.
after the lead attorney. They went after Abba and Preach. Now, I already stated the reasons why you don't go after Abba and Preach, but I mean, I have to agree with you on that, Dre. The way they went at him is foul. Now, despite what we personally feel, it has to be up to YouTube at the end of the day. If
Well,
YouTube says, "Hey, they go," they go. It
well,
ain't shit we can do about it.
well,
If
yeah.
YouTube say they stay, then they're gonna stay. But it'll just add to all the other fucked up things that they done already.
But
You
this is the
know.
problem. I ain't gonna lie. For you guys sitting up here and saying that, well, if you, I understand, well, we can't do. No, you can technically do something about it, and that's the reason why black people are in the fucking situation they did. Like we got this dumbass president in office, and what don't listen.
Man,
Listen.
look,
He
that
played
that's a
us, but
very that's a
listen, bro.
very very deep issue with
But
our
listen,
people.
but
Shout
listen.
out to JBA, Mega Montana. What's going on? Sir Anthony, salute, Juan G's. Hey, listen up, man. Hey, look, we got Toya up here. So
Okay, go
she's been sitting up here
all right, go ahead.
waiting patiently. So what's going on, Toya?
Hey
How
Hmm.
you doing?
Kev, hey Judge.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm glad to be here with you guys tonight. I want to say thank you to both of you because to Kev's point earlier that there is so much to gain from this space, and I said in the chat, I'm living proof of that fact. I don't know much about Abba and Preach and Fresh and Fit other than the hubbub that happened a few months ago. I never watched either of those shows, so I'm not familiar with any of their content. But what I can say about the content that I've been privy to is that, again, it is very valuable. There is a lot to be gained in this space. But I have to agree with you, Judge, with reference to whatever YouTube says they're going to do. And if they're going to take their channel away, I think that's probably the best thing to do because, as we all know, turnabout is fair play. So when you get in the game and you do dirty things, I mean, you can't really expect that not to come back to you, right?
Yeah, yeah, I get that. You know, you live by the sword, you die by the sword.
Right.
Period.
Right.
And this is the problem. As the men in the men in the space shouldn't forgive them at all. I mean, most of us men, this space was damn near created for men being either lied on, the screens pulling them with the children, all that kind of stuff. And then you're gonna let some think about this. If this was broads and we was talking about doing that, taking people's kids and stuff like that away from them, we'd be talking about we need to do something. No, but these was two dudes doing the same thing. No, we need to give these dudes the same beef that we give it if it was women. So that way it shows that we don't all we ain't after women only. That shows no,
Well,
you play
well,
by the
well,
rules, we
well,
get everybody.
well. You do things because they're the right thing to do. You don't do things
And that,
because you want to prove something to somebody. I could give a fuck what people say about this space, like because half the motherfuckers lying anyway.
yeah,
You know.
definitely. What I'm just saying is that go to show like this. Anybody step out of line, just because you man, woman, child, you still gonna get the same treatment. You're wrong.
Yeah, yeah, I get it. I get it, but like I was saying, I wouldn't try to make it sound like I'm doing this for this reason. I want to do it for a correct reason.
Well,
I'm like I'm up here to make
so,
sure that the black man's perspective get out. That's period, point blank, end of discussion. I'm not up here to go tit for tat with bitter ass bitches. You know, it's that and that's what it. I know they talk about us in droves too, but I will agree with you on the point that you are trying to make, which is solidarity. We need more solidarity in the space, and we need to stand on some things. I mean, like I say, if we're going to represent this as a black manosphere, we need to stand on some certain kind of value. And right now it's like we need to ostracize anybody that pulls dirty shit.
yeah,
Period.
well, people lie. Like in the beginning when they were doing the other stuff, you know me. I see a lot of things coming. I figure, oh, don't worry, it's gonna be. I caught me because remember I said, oh, somebody gonna end up hurt on that show because it ain't nothing but Jerry Springer, but for YouTube. You know, I told everybody that months ago, and I said, oh, is somebody gonna get hurt? You're gonna end up about them doing all like this. They knew they was doing dirt. I've seen it before. I've seen other content creators do that crap too. When they start scamming and lying, the first thing they do, they make posts about guns to let you know that they strapped. That's why when the first crap came out, when people were finding about the first scams, the first thing they put on Twitter, I mean on Instagram, about them buying guns. I mean, they did that. You know,
Yeah,
said
Apple
plain and
called.
simple. If I'm just a person, I'm right. You ain't buying guns and showing the crap off. Because I remember Tommy did that bullshit when he was doing that crap. You ain't buying guns and calling because you already know that you done stuff that people would probably put you in a bag for. You don't go out and sit up here. I mean, last time I checked, dude, uh, you on a piece? You don't go out here. Yeah, man, I bought a new gun. This just out the woo on a channel that ain't about guns. Come on now, you already know.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And I mean, Abba called him out on it. He and Abba even said it might not have been about their situation, but what the fuck are you doing that for?
Right.
I don't. If like I said, if I were to catch myself in a situation, I wouldn't put any guns up. Or try to show you a gun on. That I own a gun or whatever like that It is what it is. I know exactly what you're talking about, Dre, because there was a content creator that he put up a thumbnail with him holding a gun. This was like a year ago, and I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing this shit for?
And what's so bad? This is the problem with the bullshit. We can sit up here and talk all the shit you want. No offense, these dudes ain't 20 years old. These dudes ain't 19, 20. They old enough to already know what's better. I mean, come on, man. You got. I hate to say, I would expect children to act like this. They are worse than kids. Worse.
But I think this exposes the fact that developmentally they are still very much children.
Mm.
Oh, definitely. Truer words never spoken.
No, I mean, we have to understand that, a lot of people do come to these platforms. And I hate to be that guy that is critical or always saying that something's wrong with the platform, something's wrong with the space. But a lot of these people come up here looking for validation. I mean, and it's not just YouTube. There's Facebook, it's Instagram, it's Twitter, it's all these platforms. They didn't get in the who's who in their yearbook in high school. So coming up to these platforms is a second and third and fourth chance. It's like shout out to the village arsonist. He always says this 13th grade shit, you know. And this is exactly what he means when he says this stuff. This lack of maturity, a lot of these content creators show when they come up here, and a lot of the people they fuck with too is fucked up, really. I mean, but a lot of people never get past the things that that fucked with them growing up. And I get that to an extent. But once you become an adult, you got to deal with that shit.
Mm-hmm. I'm not even gonna lie, man. I hope that someone talks to them in person that they've screwed, and I'll leave it at that.
Let me tell you something, man. A lot of people say a lot of things they're not going to say to people's faces. They get on these platforms. And Fresh and Fit proved that shit when they was talking all that shit about Aber and Preach. And then Preach was like, I'll be in Florida on Monday. And nothing happened. Dude, let me tell you something. A lot of these, this is why I don't talk tough. This is why I don't really. I mean, I got loud a couple times on YouTube, which were very rare occasions, but it's like, I'm not going to talk tough because it's like really no realistic way for me to prove it unless I'm willing to fly to your state and confront you, or you willing to come confront me about whatever we said. Outside of that, I don't do all that tough talk. It's a waste of goddamn time. I mean, I'm too old for that shit.
Yeah,
Shit.
you always have the option of logging off.
Yeah, pretty
Never
much.
forget that. It's funny because, Kev, I don't know if you realize this, but it's coming up on 1 year of my introduction to the Black Manosphere. Um, and in my recollection, I have written something up about my experience thus far. And I kind of broke it up into three phases. The first being discovery, the second being disappointment, and the third being discernment. Um, and I categorized it that way because discovery, obviously, I discovered the manosphere based off of some other algorithms in
You
YouTube.
always bullying.
Um, and then the disappointment after discovering, okay,
Man.
black men being brutally honest. Love your channel, Kev. I think you know that already, but for anybody who didn't know, I love the content, so it kept me coming back. Then I stumbled upon the Roger Report, so on and so forth. Um, but throughout different pockets of the Black Manosphere and learning of different content creators, I found myself becoming disappointed with the fact that there's this thing where I think people don't realize that they can log off, and that like you were just saying, Kev, short of getting in your car and driving to meet up with somebody to actually throw hands, what is the point of all of the scuttlebutt? Um, that kind of left me with a disappointing taste in my mouth because it's like Here we have so much richness within the space, within the people who frequent the space, but we're squandering it by bringing real life dramas to an internet space. Um, and now, at this point, a year later, I'm at the discernment part of my journey, which is discerning which channels I will return to versus the others that I just simply will not, which people I will engage in chat with versus people I simply will not. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. You shouldn't
Okay.
waste you shouldn't waste your time with bullshit. you
Yeah.
you, you shouldn't. And if you're one of the people that seek quality out of the space, you will find it. A lot of
Right.
people a lot of people just don't want to find the quality in space, and this space has massive quality, whether it's informative, educational, or or, or entertaining. I mean, and there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with being entertaining in a space like this, because you have to be somewhat entertaining to be attractive. I
Mm-hmm.
really hate when people complain about what this space is not doing. You're just not looking for it. Period. It is, or you don't want to find it. I mean, that's that. There's some deep. There's people with deep rooted issues in this space,
Mm-hmm.
and if we can help, but at the same time, I'm not gonna contribute to the discord. I'm
Right.
not gonna do it. Even though that might, people do that shit for clicks. A lot of these people that are in this space that get real crazy, they're actually low key actors. you know, they're low key actors. They're putting on a show. But a lot of these people, they really truly do have issues. And if they are coming to this space for help, if they're coming to a collective of black men for some kind of help or some kind of reassurance, I believe we should be there for them. And despite all of the walls that everyone tries to put up, this space does receive a lot of criticism. But for the people who are unyielded by that criticism, you got to take your hat off. Like one in particular, and I'm not saying this just because he's my habitual line stepper brother, is Roger.
Mm-hmm.
Roger is very unyielding. He sticks to his guns. And, kind of wish everyone in the space was like that, because a lot of people, they hear an outsider say something about the space and then they fold immediately. Oh my God, it's so embarrassing. Oh my God, these niggas, I don't know what to do. I'm not a part. Like, they do all of that shit. They do
Yeah.
the most, and they don't have to. You know.
Yeah, I tip my hat off to Roger as well because, I mean, both of you, honestly, like with reference to the fact that you continuously bring the content that you bring, you won't you have the audience that you have because we know what we're getting when we come here. And that consistency is nothing to scoff at. You shouldn't minimalize that. Um, like you were saying, there are people in this space that have deep issues. I've come across some of them, so I can concur confidently. But at the same time, like the fact that there are so many people from different walks of life that you can have a conversation with, that you can build some dialogue with, means that it's necessary. The work that you are doing on a consistent basis speaks to that, if nothing else. But there's so much more.
Yeah, there is. I mean, I don't know. I just understand what it's like for a platform of black men to be torn down, or for people to attempt to try to tear it down repeatedly. And I mean, especially when you have a sizable Facebook group that is named for black men, you really hate to see it happen to other black men's spaces.
Mm,
And to see black men within that will try to waste that opportunity or squander that opportunity is quite disheartening. You know.
yeah, because obviously a lot of the men that come to the space are coming because they want answers, right? Because they want support. And to know that, but then carry yourself in a way that detracts from it, it's like you could have had a V8. Why are you here?
Ugh, I don't know. It's like, and uh, it's like the divestment community.
She didn't say you could have had a V8. Oh my God. Go ahead, bro. I like
Yeah, but it's like the divestment community. If you're divesting away from black men, why are all your content about black men? you know,
I'm silly.
I,
Sorry.
no, no, we can't. Oh
that's
man.
good. You should use that. Like next time somebody going, hey, look, man, you didn't have to come here and do that, dude. That's a good
Yeah.
line right there, man. I like that. You got,
Yeah, I have lots of corny lines like that.
no, that should be that's good. I think that'd be a good line. My God, dog, man, you could have had a V8. You didn't come here doing that crap.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Yeah.
I care about my people. I do. I mean, it's not that I want everybody to go in the same direction. It's just that use some common sense. That's at the bare minimum. Just use some common sense.
I got a
You
question
know,
for you, Kevin.
yo,
Your had power, and would you?
okay, you're breaking up, guy. You're breaking up.
Uh, I said, if you had power and control, would you delete their channel?
If I had power and
Or what they
control,
did?
would I delete their channel?
Yeah.
No, no,
Oh, what? No.
no.
Well,
If I had power and
but
control, if I had power and control, I'll just bring that much needed power to the collective of black men.
and I will
If I
admit,
had,
dude, I will admit that surely took go. That and I'm not gonna lie, that surely goes with the problem with us in Black America, and that's the reason why we get. That's the reason why we're treated the way we are because stupid. No, but this is the
why?
problem.
Why? Cause why? I won't pull the trigger on fresh and fit.
Right. No,
Like,
no, but
man, look,
no,
look,
I'm
look,
not.
look. It's a lot of people that want to see me gone from fucking social media. You
But
probably don't
but
see those people, but I mean, shit, if they had their way, I would be gone. I mean, shit, I
okay.
don't want it to happen, and
You
it's
didn't
not
break
right.
the rules though.
But, dude, I'm
You
not,
didn't break
I'm
the
not
rules
judge,
though.
jury, and executioner. I don't get
But
to decide these things. It's not my
just
platform. Now,
but
if it were my platform, now, okay, let me put you like this. I set rules in the Facebook group. Okay,
right.
I set rules like you don't talk about people's kids. You don't talk about people's dead relatives. If you crossed that line, you were gone. Yes, I use power in that way, even though it wasn't real power. It was more like pseudo power. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I did that to keep things in balance. But
Mm-hmm.
this is not my decision. You're saying if
But
okay,
oh,
let me put you like this. If it were my platform and
yeah.
Fresh and Fit were trying to maliciously take people out, okay, their asses will be gone under that principle. Yes,
Okay.
they would be gone. Okay,
Right.
just like a member of my Facebook group, if they broke the rules and they were pretty malicious, they would be fucking gone. So you got a
But see,
point.
but that's all I'm saying. I'm saying it's like this. The rules were set already. It ain't like we made the rules. They did. And the fact is, this is the problem. Like when what else did I say? No, motherfucker, it's okay when a little person break the rules, we'll go ahead and jump on them or whatever. But say a big corporation breaks the rules and they don't get you understand what I'm saying? And that's basically what they did. They're the big corporation who broke the rules. And then now and what's so bad? The little people who would have been abused by those rules is like, no, no, they gotta go. Because that would have been us, we would have had to go. The rules apply to everybody or either nobody at all.
All right, Dre, I concede. Only, and the reason why I concede is because I had similar behavior. So I would be kind of lying if I were to say I would not delete their channel or kick them off of my platform because I've kicked people off the platform that I've had. So Fresh and Fit would definitely be gone. You know, don't fuck with people's livelihoods, period. But facts are facts. YouTube has to decide that. It ain't up to me. It ain't it ain't it ain't up to me. And YouTube, like, if they decide that Fresh and Fit doesn't belong, then that's it. You have no tears from me. Period. No tears. No empathy. None of that shit. You guys are good. And it's and I would say, okay, I would take back when I said, hey, you know what, I wouldn't do it, I wouldn't delete it. I'll take that back. I'll concede that point to Dre.
That's all I'm saying. Because this is the problem. This is the problem with us, and I hate to say, we keep they came out, and it's just like these people that sit up here and say a woman told a lie on you at work and almost get you fired. Then afterwards, you be like, well, what do you want to do? You're like, oh man, let's let that shit go. No, motherfucker, you tried to cost me my job and how I eat. She should lose her job. You tried to play dirty. You play fast and loose and dirty, and you scheme, connive, lie, cheat, and steal to get ahead. Then put financial money behind it to get your way. Unfortunately, you fucked up in your execution and you didn't get the job done. But just because you hired a hitman to kill me and he tripped coming in the door and I heard him and turned around and shot him first, don't mean that, well, you didn't do the crime in the first place. So you need to go. That's what the rules are. Too bad.
Yeah, yeah, rules are rules. I mean, rules are made to be followed. I mean, and that rebel shit only looks cool on TV. But I mean, yeah, yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying, Dre. I do. If you break the rules, hey, you got to pay for it just like everybody else.
Right. But you trying to say that, oh, but just because my channel makes you, basically, I ain't even going to lie. Because, matter of fact, you're right. I'm going to press, remember, I'm going to put the video up tomorrow. I'm going to press, I'm going to make a video talk to you too. I'm going to ask them, I say, maybe as a person coming back on it, I feel that, hey, well, you're going to tell me that a big corporation can come and shut me down because they don't like me over lies. But if I did the same thing to them, I'd be gone.
Mm.
Because see, that's the problem. As long as hey, I don't care if you allow me to do the same thing, then it's cool. But you can't sit up here and say they can do that and I can't, because then it's a problem. And on top of that, YouTube, you don't want them on. You shouldn't want them on your platform anyway, because when somebody get hurt on the show, on a live show, that ain't gonna look good for you. I mean, no offense, dude. These people are too stupid. You already see they handle the ball. They can't even handle their get their lies straight. You can't even sit down and say, "This is what we're gonna do. This is how we're gonna conduct ourselves to keep your lies straight." I mean, God, dog, you got horrible scammers. It's the reason why that when I was doing my thing, I never got caught. You
Scam.
know,
Hey, Dre, please elaborate on the scamming part. Who are they scamming?
selling the courses and the shit like that, telling these people doing all like that bullshit.
Yeah, yeah, courses. Okay.
Yeah, like the parties and shit that they did. Yeah, scamming of your other co-workers and shit. I mean, plain and simple. I don't believe everything that somebody said about them, but think about it. There's a little bit of truth in everything. Like, give an example. The only reason why the dude didn't catch me back when I was running my thing is because I was on to the dude coming after me forehead. And I use this is what I'm not gonna lie. This is how I used to catch other people when I flipped over and I was actually helping people find. Like, I used deception, not deception, but what do you call it? Where you discredit a person so much, so by the time they open their mouth, motherfuckers don't believe that they're saying anything. And that's what I did. I had people hating this person on the fly and saying that this dude just had a thing against me, but he was right. He said it's Dre and his dude, and it was. It was. It was us that was. He said, I don't know how they're doing it, but he is. The dude was right. You done heard me say it on many shows. Godfrey was right. But I ain't gonna lie. I discredited that man and made him look like his security company was full of shit. I probably cost that man business because he went around. His job was to go around and I discredited that man's company by that just to steal.
Hey,
So I
hey,
mean,
man.
for a person former to come out and say that. like I said, the only reason why the Fresh and Fit got away with the crap is because failed is because their execution was wrong. They should have attacked slowly. They attacked too fast, and that's what caused.
Somebody threw a
Realize
fit.
that. Who threw it?
Somebody threw a fit. No pun intended. But somebody threw a hellified fit, man.
But I'm just saying, like from a person who, like I said, is remember I told you I don't do that stuff no more. That was 20 something years, what 23 years ago. But for like I said, you see it come out many times. Even mentioned the security of guy's name that I drug through the mud. I bumped into him many times later. I even told him, yeah, hey man, you was right. And he asked me, well, how did you do it? That still ain't gonna tell you. You were right.
Man, hey, yeah. Let's speak about that DJ Academics thing, real quick. I mean, not just with the whole him getting the gun pulled on him at the Fresh and Fit spot, but the whole Brittany Renner thing. You think DJ Academics trying to get on that red pill,
No, I think if anything is he probably just playing them just to get some action. I mean, everybody knows that. I mean, this is what a
or
lot of
you
times.
think he's using? You think he's using red pill stuff to try to gain some shock value?
No,
Because
if
he sees it's working for the Manosphere, and he sees that it's working for Kevin Samuels, and
okay, you want me to tell you my predictions here? Let's see if my prediction is this. Fresh is not going to be. Say the show survived after that. Fresh is not going to be on the show too much longer. Fresh does not. I don't watch the show, but I watch like the little snippets I have. Fresh doesn't bring too much to the show. Fresh is going
and
more as a
fresh,
behind the
fresh,
scenes.
fresh is a fucking dork riding coattails.
Right, right, right. He's going to be a more. He's going to move to a position of behind the scenes or do something that they're going to branch out, and that's what Fresh is going to do. Because unfortunately, he's not believable.
Fresh ain't
This is the
fresh.
problem. He
Little
can't
known
sell.
looking motherfucker. He not gonna be able to damn carry that shit by himself
Well,
or
this is the
anything.
he's not. He don't. You don't got the look. You don't got the speech. You don't. I mean, no offense. You ain't got brother man. Got nothing in that. But he might be a good behind the scenes guy. He might be a good like facilitator setting up crap. But you are not a good person when it comes to talk. Like I would.
No,
I would
Fresh is the
never.
kind of guy that lie about fucking women all day.
Oh, definitely.
He's the kind of guy that lie about that. Oh, I got her. I got
Okay.
her. I'm going to get her. I'm going
Right.
to have that. That's Fresh.
I'll give you.
At
This is what
any party after you get a couple beers in him.
you ever see the singers Hall and Oates? You ever see this back in the day old country sing group Hall and
Well,
Oates?
Hall and Oates. Yeah, I know Hall and Oates. Yeah.
Now, everybody like Hall. Oates was whatever. And I hate to say something. It's like when you watch Fresh and Fit, it's like Hall and Oates. But what
Like,
Fresh, Fresh is not even a backup singer to Oates. That's how bad he's different. No offense. You can get five, and I believe that what's going to happen is Fresh is going to go off to another venture. He's still going to be involved with the show, but like that, and they're going to replace him with somebody else. I wouldn't be surprised if it was DJ Academics, but he's going to be replaced soon. Or I hate to say, I wouldn't be surprised. I hate to say the way Donovan doubling down. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Donovan.
yeah, Donovan showing the support of his friends.
Well, and this is the problem. The poor Donovan don't realize them dudes is not your friends. Because if I was your friend, just like this, like plain and simple, a friend was back when we was doing dirt. One of our partners got nipped in a thing. They figured, well, maybe Dre is in on it. Maybe Dre got something to do. Maybe he's got some information on Dre. No, Dre didn't know shit. That's a friend. He said, well, what the fuck? They ain't got nothing. He said, why the fuck? Why am I going to let you take any slack? Because I fucked up. See, that's a real friend. A real friend is not going to put you through unnecessary stress, especially as a black man. It ain't like you a white person that you could just rub this shit off. You're a black man. You're already fucked up every time you breathe.
So, yeah. Man, I remember when Dave Chappelle told that joke a few years back. Talk about some, he want to be holding up a newspaper doing something real strange so they'll know exactly what he is because usually the description is they looking for a black man between 4'7" and 6'8".
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I get that, but yeah, this that's why you only should, like I said, that's why you only should talk like this in certain places because see, you see things like what's going on in Fresh and Fit.
Well, the problem, like I sit here and lie. Because back when I was doing the things, I see when Fresh was everybody skip it here. But I told her, I said this, my first years in the game, I was a salesman. So you learn how to convince people, you learn how to talk to people, you learn how to tell them what they want, you learn how to shut up when they start to talking so you can learn how to sell them. And when you're selling big ticket items to people, because back then, not everybody owned a computer, have a computer in the house 25 years ago. Like think back 25 years ago, how many people owned a computer? Not a lot. I mean, we weren't even using dial up how we had. AOL came out back when I was selling computers. Well, it got popular. I ain't gonna say came out, it got popular. So you have to, if you're gonna sell a ticket item that's probably gonna get maybe 1 or 2 hours use a day. It's like somebody trying to sell pianos. You got to be a very good salesman. And when you're not, this dude isn't. Then unfortunately, one of the things about being a salesman, it makes it easy to be a scam artist. Because the reason why some of these scams and all some of these things go so long, because I hate to say something, they sold by somebody. Somebody had to sell you on that idea, sell you to do that, convince you to do that. That's all a salesman does. Huh, cuz? Hold on, my cousin talking to me. Let me go. What's up, little man? You playing what?
Man, Dre, Judge Dre for the children.
This my
Yeah,
little helper. My little helper right
yeah,
there. I
yeah,
can't.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You
man.
know,
Just give an example. I would say I should go sit in this chair. I show you one of the things that a lot of people don't have in their house: a bookshelf. Okay.
yeah, man. But yeah, let's touch on some other craziness that's going on in the space because we all agree that Fresh and Fit some f boys for that shit, and they whatever they get they deserve, except for if they're able to keep their channel. But all right, so. When people say Sister George purchasing Ramil's channel was an L for the space, agree or disagree?
Uh, I'm not gonna say it's an L for the space because I'm like this. It's not an L for the space, and it's the women because I mean the women can come. And I know you're gonna sound like because you see me like I'm being fair. That's why I said this is the fairness to not the feelings. I'm gonna tell you is that because you can always ask me is that a fair or is that a feeling? The fairness is no, they can come, but I'm gonna let you know like this is we not making no special. This is a men's space. We talk how men talk, plain and simple. If you want to come, you got to abide by the men's how men conduct themselves. It ain't gonna be we're gonna turn this into the library for you.
I mean,
See that's different.
I mean,
We're not gonna come, but we ain't turning it into the library. So you understand? Don't sit up here and just be like, no, well, you kind of got to. No, that's how men talk. Too bad. You came over here. That's how I go.
okay. Well, I'll say this, and like I've given my opinion before. I don't have any problem, but it wasn't like Sister George wasn't part of this space before. I mean, like a lot of people forget that. I mean, it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't like she just kept coming around the space saying things like that people just wanted to hear, being the biggest, what y'all like to say, pick me. Like
Mm-hmm.
no, she was saying things that were pretty much triggering motherfuckers, and yet she was embraced by the space. So why would anyone say that this is a nail for the space if the space has already embraced her? It
Well,
doesn't make any sense.
I'm,
Like
I'm, no, Kev, they just hate it. I'm not even gonna lie. I think a lot of people. She's getting a lot of slack and blowback. But I do admit I don't go by the show unless you done something really out from all there in the beginning how she was. Unless you done totally done a change since then, she's just getting a lot of flack because I think people are pissed off that there's a lot of people that got a little bit of underlying issues with what's those other two chicks that done come around? Them two chicks, and I believe they're just taking it out on her because she's a woman, and that's just being fair. That's being fair. That's what I see.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, Judge, because if not Sister George, then who? I
Well,
think that.
basically, it's like this. I ain't even gonna lie. A lot of them really want Jessica
Oh yeah,
X. I
yeah.
told you this is plain and simple, and I ain't gonna lie. I'd take Sister George over Jessica X any day.
Well, I think to Kev's point, I mean she is a habitual line stepper, so I just think it made sense. But also, it's not a detraction from the space when you have someone who's invested so much into it already. So
I mean,
whatever she does with the channel is only going to be good for the Black Manosphere anyway.
you got your
Um,
yeah.
I think it's a good thing. I'm inspired by it, to be honest with you.
I mean, and then like I would ask these same people, like, give me specifics on what you would have liked out of this space. Like, everybody who's are so much into telling us what they don't like about the space. What can the space do to finally satisfy a person that says this stuff? And I don't think that there's an answer for this. I think that and I said this in a particular content creators chat a couple weeks ago. We're just the people that always go for the knee jerk reaction. I don't think we're actually looking for anything to be good the way it seems sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, I have to agree. Because this is an opportunity to make an improvement. I don't see how you don't see it as anything else. I don't know.
Yeah, and then like I always say, if they feel that way about, okay, it should be male, the strongest presence should be the males in the space, then why not support the males in the space? I mean, not to say that, hey, you know what, y'all need to be come over here watching me. I'm one of those people that understand that I have to earn it. It's no problem with me. I'm not spewing sour grapes, but for those people who try to keep this whole narrative up that this space needs to be male centered, it needs to be for men. Why not support the men in the space? I see guys say this, they more or less support the division that's in the space. Trying to make themselves believe that
Fire.
they are the smartest guys in the room. They are the smartest guys in the space. There's no room for any other thought process to grow except mine. And the guys who say this thing, and it's not as if like, and I'm talking about content creators. Actually content creators that create content on a regular basis. You know, why is it that you would okay why is it that you would come over and come on to discredit other black men if you feel that way about women being in space, and it just does not make any fucking sense at all you know
But it's misery. It's the fact that they're miserable and they're looking for another place to latch on to and spread some of it. That's really what it boils down to. It's like I'm miserable in my real life, so I'm gonna bring it to the internet and see who else I can spread it to and who else will join in with me on being miserable.
A
hmm
lot of I'm gonna lie. A lot of it's just to bide the time. Like even most of us are here. It's to bide our time. You know what I mean? Like some
Mm.
people, they bide their time in interesting ways. You might go to other shows because you like to watch drama and you like to watch all constant arguments and stuff like that. That's what they go for. That's why certain shows there'll always be a niche and they'll always be at least semi-successful because those are the key things. Drama and dumb shit always works.
I think a
And
lot of what works in this space also is the interactivity, to be able to participate in the chat that gets recognized, by the content creator that's putting on the show. Like, if Raven Knight says something like, at hybrid catastrophic impact X83rd power, let's push back. Those ratchets have uttered death threats against the chosen ones. I think that's one thing is also the ability to hit a link and actually be part of the show. You know, I believe that's what makes this kind of space attractive to most. And the fact that they can let out and they let off some steam and say some things they could not normally say in other places. Now
Definitely.
that's not always a good thing.
Yeah. But like we know already just from life. We know a lot of people, a lot of people would say a lot of stuff on here that they would never say in real life. And if you notice where, certain people, it takes, and I, I'm not coming off on people, but that don't, but it takes a lot for a person to even have this, to double down on their opinions and actually show their face. A lot of people,
Man,
I mean, like, as you see, I do admit when I came into space, the panels were new. Like I was one of the first ones running the 10 and 12 hour. We did 24-hour streams back then. And that's why, like, I did, like, probably just give an example. I probably got more time, even though you doing shows and I'm not doing shows. I probably got more time on a panel than probably you, Roger, and maybe all of y'all habitual line steppers combined to show you how many shows I ran and how much time on panels. But a lot of people they want to just be part of something because I hate to say they might have to get rid of their own inconsistencies in their own how they feel about themselves, and they use this as an escape. They work a dead end job where they know if they said anything like that at work, they'd be fired. That's the reason why I work for myself because you see the way I talk, like literally, if I was working at any company and these fools could find out, don't you think they would have had me fired? I mean, I done heard a lot of people. I mean, I just tell you, I done heard a lot of people by telling you the truth. I was telling people the truth 10 years ago. I just, I was never really as good as say Kevin is at it. Maybe I would have blown up then. But I was, that was one of the things that I was definitely known for. Hey, man, you may not like it, don't make you feel good, but that's really the truth. That's one of the lines I've been telling my son since they was little. I said, in the real world, nobody gives a fuck about your feelings. And once you realize what's going on, you kind of learn to accept it that way. But a lot of us can't.
man, it's to the point, man, where I'm just like, I'm not even shocked if I get a dirty look from another black person. Like, I do expect it, and like I've gotten the kind of the side eye and the fake smiles from white folks. But I mean, as a black man, I'm not even shocked anymore, and I don't even argue against it for the most part. I'm just like, you wake up every day with this bring it attitude. It makes it easier. It really does. Now, to your point, there's a lot of people who can't handle that for real. Is they were given this idea if they did everything right and this uniform way of doing things that everything was just going to turn out okay. And now I know a lot of these people feel lied to because a lot of these people are in this space.
Oh, Kevin, tell the truth, man. How many times have you? I learned that at a young age, where it's like I did everything right. I sit up here, I went here, I did this, I went here, helped this person, did all this, and then I'm tired as all get out. I didn't put in 20 hours a day, didn't get no sleep, none of this crap. And then 2 days later, I hear people complain, and I'm like, dude, do you realize I did this to make this person? And then I realize you walk around because a lot of us, I think we have this thing. You walk around in life and you try to help everybody or try to make everybody like you. And when you get to that, that actually becomes a job and a stress toll on you more than anything. I'm not even going to lie. Me telling the truth and how I feel, hey, man, I'm just going to tell you just like it is. And you see, I live my life the way I said it is. I'm not one of those ones just because, as you see, I'm the first one on here to even come out and say, my son didn't want to do what I did, didn't want to follow the rules or didn't want to live his life according to my way. When you're under my roof, I put his ass out. I don't give a damn if you ain't got nowhere to go. Because the fact is, people think, oh, but just because, think about it. Oh, just because that's your son, no, don't work like that. If you're not going to be a productive citizen and right to the place, you can go to blood or no blood. The rules apply to everybody. We got to live to a certain standard. And the problem is when you start getting up here making exceptions to dumb shit, you allow too much crap to go in. No, these are what the rules are. It ain't like these is a minor infraction or something like that. It's like somebody stepped on a white line. It's not like that. Some of these infractions are big. And unfortunately, if you don't have rules and then you don't actually make the people the consequences by the rules, no. And then you wonder why everything gets. I mean, no offense. Look at ours. Look at the black community. That's the reason why most of us now, these kids, everybody want to buck the rules, buck the rules, buck the rules. But unfortunately, as you keep bucking the rules, all you got is constant chaos.
And some of these people don't even really know the gratification of doing it the hard way.
I I had to teach my son that. Remember, I did like a 4-hour show. It was me, Angry Man, BGS, Kevin Samuels, all of them. Before I put him out that day, I talked to y'all for like 3.5 hours before I put my son out. And people was like, "Wow, he made the decision online and actually did it." Yeah, I did. I mean, you know, a lot of people got. I know people. I would never do that to whatever, man.
Say,
I
Judge,
mean,
you got any more of those
that's just what
backbones for sale?
man. Evident. If I had them backbones, it's just that the fact is like this. I told my kids. I said, somebody ever tried to hurt you? Oh, you don't have to worry. You snap your fingers, life as they know it would cease to exist. But just because if I give you that much power that a life they knew it would cease to exist, you got to live by a certain level of conduct that you have to carry yourself. You can't go out here be like I even told you. I've said it many times. My son was crawling in a window and somebody shot his behind. You bet. I told you my kids didn't even know. You better not even call me from the hospital because they knew. You already know. Hey, plain and simple. Dad don't like liars and thieves. And you see, one of the things that I've always played myself is that in my 10 years plus online, you've never heard they say Dre has lied. That's the most important thing to me. I never lie. I'll tell the truth on everything, even things that I do not like. Yeah, man, I did that shit. Yeah, it ain't right. Hey, that young dude is gone. This old man is left. That young dude that did that, he's gone. I mean, but yeah, I totally did it. I'm not going to even be mad. Hey, man, you said that you out here impregnated multiple women. Yes, I did. I did it. Guilty. I had every right to because I did it. That's the problem. They got you.
Okay, all right. I don't know. I think everything needed to be said that would be said for this broadcast. Did you have anything to add, or shall I take some questions or anything, guys?
I just hope that the space madness dies down and we can really maybe establish or reestablish some standards for the Black Manosphere. Honestly, I would love to see that. I would love to see some of the same way that the men that come to your channel, Kev, exemplify their standards. I would like to see that be something that is held up across the board. Um, even with reference to Sister George's new channel, in my mind, it would be a great place to send women to in order to kind of learn how to conduct themselves within the Black manosphere, having the respect and reverence for the conversations that are taking place that really don't require our input as women, but maybe just require our ear. Um, so yeah, I would just end by saying that I would like to see a reduction in the space madness, and just see the space evolve more into what it really could be and should be.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And not only for that, but for the hidden gems to actually get an opportunity to shine. Is this, like I said earlier, this space does have a lot to offer, and it would be a good thing if we could give those particular individuals some support. But my thing is, look, let's just wait and see what kind of plan Sister George has, because I don't think that Sister George ever struck against the space. Like, and you got males that are in this space that you got males that are in this space that don't even speak highly of the space that are embraced by this place. So, I mean, I think it would be only fair that in the near future, the very near future, that we could highlight or, even exaggerate a lot of the good things that are coming from this space. And it's only getting better. So, Dre, you got anything left that you wanted to say?
Yeah, I'm connected to that line. The line to the two rooms, right? Yeah.
Uh, well, you're Borgin, and I get it. You're busy, so. Uh, but let me go ahead and end with this. Look. I'm always gonna have my criticisms, and I'm always gonna have my compliments about it. Anything, and if anything, if I do sound like that I've been critical of the space, and understand that I believe that they were fair criticisms, and I will more so or less ride with the space than to be against the space, because that's just, to me at this point, as far as a space that actually embraced my presence, embrace Roger, embrace Donnie, embraced us the way they did, especially with Sister George. Hey, I think that, that the space's evolution is going very swimmingly. I think it's going very well. It's nothing is going to be without its growing pains and its hiccups. But due to everything I'm seeing, even though you do have quite a number of people that are complaining about the space, that want to hate on the space and say that the space is failing, I'm here to be one of the people that say that it's simply just not true. So I'm interested in this. I'm interested in what this space is going to become. But with that being said, even more so, I'm interested in our own evolution as the habitual line steppers, and for the way people have stuck by us throughout our growth, and people like Judge Dre and Toya who have decided to stick by us, then that evolution is going to be far interesting as well. So, let's just, I would say, look to the future. And like Toya said, hopefully this space madness will be behind us. But until then, let's just sit back and watch the show. So, anyway, thank you for tuning in once again. Let me get some shout outs in the chat. Raven Knight, LaShawn Jefferson, BGS Ibmore, thank you for coming by. Officer Charles Faulkner, Jaquan, Hybrid Catastrophic Impact X83rd Power. Uh, Great to see you as always. Tyrone Church, what's going on? Good to see you. And everyone who participated in the chat. And special thank you to Judge Dre and Toya, the tutor, Toya's son. for dropping their 2 cents, definitely, which is extremely valuable. So anyway, this is Kev. This is Black Men Being Brutally Honest. Long live the habitual line steppers. In Kev we trust. Till next time.